Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, bullshit, and of course, the 108 tourney. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer doesn't know a player or mentions his time on the West Coast, you drink. And if I swear or say, here's the thing, you drink. Beef Loaf, how you doing tonight, brother?
I am terrific, fellas. I've actually started to go out into society a little bit more lately. It just feels like I got to get a few things done for myself personally because I've been a bit of a hermit. And one of the things I did, I reached out to our guy, Doughboy SVO, and he got me with the hookup. And I went for my iPhone 7, and now I'm rocking the iPhone 12 Max.
Oh, man.
And this is just a baller-ass phone. I feel so much better about myself personally for having a phone like this. I went up to the Apple store up there in North and Halstead. You know, I'd reached out, and I remember, you know, I walk in there, I see our man's, and he like clears out another customer, like pushes the motherfucker out of the way. It's like, all right, I'll take this man's over here, and we went over there, and so we're sitting down chatting, and he'd got me lined up already. You remember when we were talking about how we would pick someone that we should fight in like rough and rowdy style, and we ended up picking him for me. And we collectively decided he'd beat the fuck out of me. That's still true. He'd still whoop my fucking ass. There's no question about it. So anyway, he did such a great job. I'm an idiot, so it was nice. He was able to walk me through everything I needed to do to get my phone locked down, and then he just gave me tips and everything. Agreed. And like I was up and running, man. By the time I left, my shit was rolling, and I was ready to go. Get home, got the phone chilling there. I'm doing a little Zoom call. Who's the first person that calls me on the new phone? I see my phone fucking buzzing and getting going as I'm talking to one of my colleagues and showing them some stuff on a spreadsheet.
Mad Max.
Fucking White Sox Dave.
Nice.
I probably get 4 White Sox Dave phone calls a year. However, he was the first one on the iPhone 12 for me today.
It was a drunk dial at 2 p.m.
It was a pocket ass dial of White Sox Dave. But no, I feel relieved to have a brand new phone. I felt like my last phone, it was the 7, the old phone. It was screwing up a little bit too much on like normal tasks. Like when it shut down the other day when I was doing the roundup, you know, the recap show, it's like Twitter just shut down on me. I had kind of felt it coming. I was like, I gotta go out and do this. So I just nipped it in the bud, and I'm like, I'll reach out to our guy, and he was very accommodating. Guy does a great job. So if you guys need any Apple products, make sure you hit up my man's. Catch him on Twitter, hit him in the DMs, and he'll be able to, he'll lead you down the path. If you're dumb like I am.
I like that you got a guy, and you're sharing that guy with the collective.
Yeah, don't do that.
Like, no, that's how you got to do it. You know, if you got a good guy, you got to let your friends in on it, and you know, you guys are all our friends. True. We're letting you in on it.
That's right. No one's watching. It doesn't matter. It's just the 3 of us.
That is true. Look, I want to know, did he hook you up and get all the saved images from your Motorola Razor on to the new iPhone too?
Yeah,
so we're gonna have those going forward. Or like, did he not have the right cord?
No, he was able to get everything from my flip phone over here. So all my poor graphics, they all exist still in my phone. I'll still be able to use them, and it'll give you at least some content.
Yes,
I know you struggle for it. That's why I put it out there for you to keep you afloat a little bit.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You know, I mean that's one thing I'm always looking for is my 8-bit porn. You know, so definitely always looking for that.
You motherfucker.
My Sock Summer, how you doing, man?
I am. I don't know. I'm a little sad. I had a rough go today. Congratulations to you. I couldn't watch the recap video. I was crying too much. Actually, congratulations to you both. I'm wearing the glasses because I want to hide the sadness that's in my eyes. But yeah, congratulations. Everyone gets to see what they're gonna, you know, they wanted the brothers, and the brothers are gonna fight each other. And it'll be good. It's going to be fun. And then one of you guys will get beat by somebody from the score. So, right? Isn't that the next match?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
you would have to pay.
In theory.
Yeah, I think if Layla wins, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even so sure of that.
So,
wow.
So yeah. But so today, I mean, I posted a lot of stuff. I'm gonna take these off because they're annoying.
That would have been great. If
He gave it the old college
Just like
try.
if- just like
tears
Ryan.
would just
Wearing
come
those.
I
streaming
can't
down.
see shit anymore, dude. Like they're too dark, and I don't know. And this light is blaring, and it's like they're still too dark.
You look great.
But like so today, fun day. Took the girls over to the 108 tourney sponsored Buffalo Wings and Rings, and my daughters demolished the meal, and I wasn't thinking. But I had not given them a snack all day because they had been fine. But like they ate the shit out of all that food, like destroyed it. And I was like, okay. And so I went to my oldest and I was like, hey, maybe it's time you like start getting like something like bigger so then you can eat more or have something for later. She's like, no, don't think so. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So she didn't have any of that. She wasn't having that. So anyway, shout out to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Thanks a lot. That was fun. I did not drink while I was there. But if I would have drank, it would have been Goose
I believe
Island. And it would have been the Guava Squad. No, I seriously didn't
said,
drink. There was
"Hey."
cops there and shit, dude. I'm like, I'm not doing this. This looks bad. So
They asked him if he wanted the drink. He said, certainly not. And then ripped a huge line.
MSS like there were
that's in the
cops there.
bag.
It's like, so what? They were fucking drinking too, I'm sure.
Yes,
Oh,
probably.
yes.
I think we're on duty. But anyway, so tonight we're making dinner, and I was making mac and cheese, and I don't know if you guys are like this, or if there's a meal that you guys have, but something that I have made so many times, mac and cheese, especially like as a bachelor, college, $1 box, and then the family sizes when we were in college because like you had to make it for everybody. Is there one thing like that's something that I take pride in the way that I make mac and cheese? My wife sometimes will she'll throw the fucking butter in and then throw the cheese sauce and then or the dry cheese and then put the cold milk in there, and then it's like you're eating halfway through and you got like a little nub of butter because it didn't fully melt. So like I'll take I don't usually use the full amount of butter because they're like use a half a stick for like a little box of mac and cheese. I'm like, fuck that. No, I'm not doing that. But I did use it because I made 2 boxes tonight because everyone's eating it. And I throw it in there and I work that around till that is gone. And then it's all over the noodles, right? It's all over the noodles. Then I put in a little bit of I put the cheese sauce or cheese dry powder on there and I mix that in for a little bit. Then I put in the milk to make it all creamy. So there's not like those little dots of like the cheese powder in there. I'm sitting there just making it. I'm just like, God damn it, you're really good at this. And then I got sad because I remember this might be the only thing I'm good at, according to everybody on Twitter, because no one voted for me today. So no big deal. But yeah, I just like, is there something that you have? What?
The amount of pride you take in making fucking cheese macaroni is astounding.
Mac and cheese.
Hey,
I was very happy.
Treasy, let's roll this back a little bit. What the fuck? Why don't you use the amount of butter you're supposed to use, man? I don't want no dry ass fucking mac and cheese.
No,
fucking dry mac and cheese there.
No.
Put that butter in there, man. That
No.
butter is there for a reason, man.
No,
The hell?
it's way too much, man.
I don't want to
It
drink
is
your
way
mac
too
and
much.
cheese. I want butter in there. I want that fucking
Too
butter
much.
in there. If you make a cake, what do you put? Half the butter? You knucklehead. You got to put the amount of butter supposed to go in there.
But I don't agree. Like I think it gets enough in there. Like I don't want over buttered mac and cheese. Like
I want over buttered everything.
My man,
That's
my
true.
man,
You
our
guys did-
intern,
yeah.
our intern Darren Brown, up in the comments says, "Don't skimp on the butter." And he's upset. He voted for you, and you're a butter skimper. He can't. He's not feeling it.
D Brown, we're gonna do this, and maybe it'll just be me and D Brown because he's an Aldi guy too, and I know you guys aren't Aldi guys, but maybe we'll get D Brown up in the mix, and we'll have like an Aldi draft. Like we'll draft our favorite things from Aldi because Buzz from On Taps was talking about his generic Oreos, and he was talking about the Walmart Twist and Shouts, and I was like sitting here going, no, dude, the double stuff from like Aldi is the best ever, and it's like Benton or whatever is the name of them, but they are the creamiest centers because usually with the cheap Oreos it's like a hard center and you gotta like gnaw it off.
Butter.
Yeah, not enough butter. But yeah, this one like this one's like really nice and soft. So D Brown, me and you are gonna have an Aldi draft. We'll pick our favorite generics, like things that are good. And I had some of them Dots pretzels. They made some fake Cheetos, or they made Cheetos, and I was like, oh, yeah, these gotta be good. They know what they're doing with the pretzels. Man, I ate the Cheetos. They suck, dude. And like, I was like, these are bad. And like the Aldi ones, they're not great, but they're better than that. And they're like $1.89. So like, fuck, you can't go wrong for $1.89. Chorizo, how are you doing in your victory?
I was doing good until I realized how superior you are to everybody at making mac and cheese.
I'm pretty damn good at that. That's
I'm
true.
just in fucking awe right now.
It's true.
I had something for you, my sock summer, because I want to verify this because it seems fucking ridiculous to me, but you're a guy who would know about this. So
Yeah.
I've been moving some stuff around in the house, and you could probably tell, and we talked about it a little bit
Yeah.
last week. And so one of the things I was moving was a whole bunch of CDs, right? And now some of the CDs I have are like legit kind of rare CDs, right? Like I have like a 24 karat gold Doors CD, right? Like things like that.
Yep.
So I was looking on eBay. I'm like, maybe I'll just sell some of this shit. Like, what do I need with this CD, right? And that thing seems to go okay, right? And then I looked at some of the other things I had, which Beef, you remember back in the day, you'd go to like a disco round or something, or like a any of these shops like up on in
Like the secondhand,
like around
CD
Belmont and
stores.
shit,
Yeah.
where you would have like the bootlegs. Remember like the bootlegs?
Yeah, the live bootlegs, right?
Yeah, live
Yeah.
bootlegs.
Yep.
So I got some of those, right? And I'm like, I wonder if if people sell these, maybe I get $2-3 for like one of these things. Dude, like
Lot of
$30,
money.
$40 for some of
Yeah.
these things.
No
And
way,
like,
really?
bullshit. And I'm just
Stupid
like,
shit. Yeah.
this is just like a bullshit bootleg CD. Like you could just, get it on the internet now. Like it's free. Like, why do you want this?
Well, here's the thing. Like when you look on Spotify, sometimes like we would have some of those CDs that were like the imports and all that crap. Not all those like cover songs and different shit that they do.
Not on
Not
Spotify.
all that shit's on Spotify.
Not on Spotify, but you could find most of that shit. I mean, like,
well, I'm a noob. I couldn't find it. I don't know where it's at.
You'd rather spend $40 to get a bootleg Nine Inch Nails CD? Because I got one I could sell you.
Now,
I don't know. I'm not interested in that one in particular, but yes.
Now you got an iPhone 12 Max. Like you can download that shit now much easier than you could on the 7. Like you don't even have to use LimeWire anymore. You're like that much of a higher.
But is that shit legit? Like people are actually buying those out
Fuck
there?
yeah, dude. Like there's I'm part of a PJ Pearl Jam like message board, like a lot of poster traders and stuff. And like, yeah, they like some people want every fucking CD, every fucking release from them. And like if it's weird or odd or something, sometimes it makes it even better. This woman had like this like sale that I went to had like an old ass like Pearl Jam box set. And I was like, oh, what? I don't know. Like it's CDs and who's gonna want this? And I looked it up real quick and I was like, oh, people want this. I think I bought it for like $25 and I sold it for like, I don't know, like 150. But
Jesus,
but it's just ridiculous. Like people do get into that. Yeah,
that's wild. I mean, is it becoming like
let me know.
Is it becoming a niche market like how vinyl is? Like vinyl has its own thing, but vinyl obviously is like very. But is it like people are, the reference? They're like, oh man, I want to go back. I want to get some.
When I see people selling like component stereos, and people are like, oh yeah, I might, and like the price isn't like $5.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is stupid. Like, who's buying a component like system with a CD deck? Like, who the fuck needs that? That's like wild. that was hot shit. Yeah. When I was in like 6th grade, and like I'm old as fuck now. Like I don't need a 5-disc changer no more, right? Like I had a old stereo, one of them old Pioneer, like with like a shelf unit, and it had a 25-disc changer in it. That shit was hot. That was hot. 1996, 97.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! You could type in the names, which I never did because I was lazy and stoned all the time. But you had 25 discs in there, and then sometimes you just have to think about it in your head. Be like, oh, I think it's 3 more. So you click, and you're like, fuck, went too far. Jodeci, god damn it, go back. And but I finally got rid of that stereo like about a year ago. Like I'd held on it till it now, but because I was just like, you ain't never listening to a CD unless you, for some godforsaken reason, don't pay for Sirius anymore, and you're in the car for like more than 3 hours. Like, It's not doing that. But you still have all the cases and shit, or do you got it in a box?
For these ones, I have the cases still.
Oh, like the special ones.
Yeah. So I still have a bunch of these in cases. So I will be selling those and retiring soon.
You know what's gonna be funny is you're gonna get a lot of DMs. You're like, "What you got? Send me a list before you put that shit on eBay. Let me get there."
Let's get you the corn from Europe that I got.
Me and the kids are going on a estate sale tomorrow, and I've been warning them since Monday. I'm like, you be ready to get up early because there's 3 things at this estate sale that I want, and I need to get there when that fucker opens. And if one of you guys is fucking around, it doesn't put on your goddamn pants before, like, when you're supposed to, I'm gonna be very mad at you. And I told my oldest, I was like, I go, we're gonna go to the sale to buy some stuff. And she goes, I go, yeah, what for? I go, you want to go to college, right? She's like, yeah. And I was like, well, we got to get there because if we don't get these bobbleheads, I can't sell them, and then I can't pay for your college. And so she's like, I want to go to college.
What the hell?
I know. And I wonder why I lose. I wonder why I lose. These entertaining stories about threatening my daughter on a Monday about going to an estate sale on the following Friday. So.
My beer money. I mean, your college money. Big threats all over.
Yeah, that'll be spent on edibles long before anyone goes.
Oh, come on. Please. Yeah, maybe.
Speaking of edibles and drinking, what do you fellas drinking tonight? Beef, what do you got? Well,
I'd love to start.
Actually drinks his.
I'm finishing up the end of the Outlier, which is
nice.
the Goose Double IPA.
So delicious.
Fucking delicious. I got only a couple left. Got that backed up by some Founders All Day IPA. And then somehow, some way, I still have a one of these from a while ago. This was from the shipment that Stanton gave us. We were doing a little promotion for White Claw. I didn't realize this was back in the back of the fridge. So if we get to the end of the podcast and I've wiped all this out, I'm going to mix this with something. We'll see.
So is that like a year-old White Claw?
At a minimum, it's got to be at least a year old.
They don't go bad, though, do they?
I don't know. We're going to find out, I guess.
It's not like there's like hot freshness or anything. Like it's, like, I don't know.
I don't know what's in a White Claw. All I know is some people, they adversely react to these things. I'm not one of them. It seems to do me just fine. So we'll see as we get later on in the show.
Adversely react to the White Claw or your old White Claw?
No, the White Claw. Just White Claw in general. Just whatever chemicals are inside of the White Claw, they don't work well with them.
I get it.
My Suck Summer, what do you got?
Little Risk, motherfucker. That's what I'm going to drink. I don't want to be hungover tomorrow when I'm trying to fund my kids' education at a estate sale. So that's something that I'll go with. The good people at Goose have made a beer that I can drink at least 4 of these and not feel worried about tomorrow. So
the estate sale. You don't want to be late for the estate sale.
I mean, I don't want to be a big fat sweaty mess either. Woo! We got a little sale. Golden egg. Woo!
I just picked up a 12er yesterday.
Beautiful.
I walked in thinking I was going to get something else, and then I saw those, and I was like, "Oh, there's only one thing I can get." The best is like I look like when I walked in, they must have known what I was going to go get because I had on like a Sox hat, the 108 hoodie, 108 face mask. And I was just like, well, yeah, I think it's quite fucking obvious what I'm going to walk out of here with. So just went for it.
That's excellent, man. I look forward to having some of those, baby. I haven't had one in a day.
They're as delicious as they were last year.
I did put up a tweet through the 108 account, which I don't normally do. But the good people at Goose are making a Cubby Blue, and they said they're returning it. And our good friend Scheiberg said, everybody, you're getting fooled by this because look at the date of the release, and it's April 1st. And I don't know. Are they going to do a Cubby Blue or are they not going to do a Cubby Blue? That is what I want to know. And it's not, and I'll say this, it's not a major release. It's only going to be at the Clybourne, or way it looked, it was only going to be at the Clybourne. So who knows? Like maybe they do a small batch Cubby run. I don't know. We'll see.
But April 1st is opening day, right?
Yes.
So I mean, correct. Like that.
Unless that's a joke too, and like, good on you, MLB. If that's a fucking joke, that would be pretty sweet.
Go fuck yourself.
They're like, actually, it's tomorrow.
Rob Manfred just sitting there laughing with fucking lightning striking behind him again.
Devil horn. Yeah.
Fucking
Yep.
guy.
That's a mood right there.
That douche.
I mean that happened. It was I think it was at like a Nats game or something, and it was just like there's just like fucking lightning coming down behind him, like he's the emperor.
It's Thor.
All right,
We talk some baseball.
no, I'm gonna pay some bills.
There you go.
It's tourney time, and not just 108 tourney, but also the NCAA tourney. And we're doing what we can to bring you the best of both. So we've got a special PointsBet deal for you. Go to pointsbet.com, sign up using promo code 108 tourney. Then bet $20 on the spread or money line of any NCAA March Madness game and get $150 if 1 point is scored in the game. At least 1 point has to be scored in the game, and you will get $150 for your $20 bet. It's the easiest money of your life. So go to pointsbet.com, use promo code 108 tourney, and get yourself some free cash. All right, fellas.
Beautiful. I love it.
That's a good read.
Speaking of the 108 tourney, we had some 108 tourney action today. Let's do. I just did a recap, but we'll do.
Sexy.
Go through a little bit of what you guys thought of it. I will start us off by saying something that I said in the recap. But Tom Paints
Killing it.
quietly on a major heater here.
Yep.
Like he is just flying through the competition. Like it hasn't been close with him. And I mean, like the guy does amazing work, and we've met him. He's an amazing dude too.
Yes.
Like, if you want to drink with somebody, you want to drink with Tom. Like it's a good time. So he's crushing it, and I'm wondering who could possibly stop this freight train.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, his next matchup in theory is gonna be either Shy Sox fan Mike or guy who I didn't even think belonged in the tournament, but now has got himself into semifinals. Is going tomorrow, and that's Steve-O. You guys stumped for Steve-O.
That guy?
Yeah, exactly. That guy right there. You stumped for Steve-O, and I said
that little guy right there.
Steve-O hasn't had the kind of year that I think deserves it. And what you guys did sort of a legacy thing. You know how Duke always gets in? Like if someone's been in before you gave him the Duke entry, and he has fucking taken advantage of it. And I think, I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's a favorite tomorrow against Shy Sox fan Mike, but I think he's got a shot. I think he's got to be 45% to take over Mike.
Yeah, Mike's like the nice White Sox Dave. Like he has that crowd. Like so he like Mike's gonna post something like some sweet little nothing about like, man, I remember when Mark Burley threw that perfect game. Me and my grandpa just got back from Sizzler, and I was enjoying a nice like ice cream treat. And like he's gonna get 3,000 votes just because of that. Honestly, because that's what the kid does.
Yeah, he's a nice dude. He's a good kid. And I think Steve deserves some credit though, because like, you know, me and My Sox Summer did say, hey, you know, we got to get him in here. And I thought here's a perfect opportunity because Showtime Sam definitely got in on his, you know, on his rapping, right? Like coming up to the tourney. And I was like, well, if we're going to do that, we got to have a battle. What I didn't know was that Steve would bring it the way he did, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then that in the second round, Tony DeMimbo would go at him with some rhymes. That was so
good.
I loved it.
I love Tony DeMimbo.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's a treasure.
He is a treasure. There's no doubt about it. Although, I mean, Steve-O's game has just been raised so high. Like he's doing that. He's doing a goddamn fucking beer mile, and he's getting his head shaved to raise money for St. Baldrick's. I mean, the guy is, you know, we know the guy's a workhorse. It's just I hadn't seen it in the last year, but he came out. You know what he did? He took it as disrespect from me and as mad props from you guys, and he pushed it to the max right there. And he's having a great tournament, I gotta say.
He is.
Yeah, I love to see it.
I mean, another person, unfortunately, she got knocked out today, who was having a terrific tournament, and Treasy, you mentioned it in the recap this evening, is Sox Bear Peyton.
Yeah.
She's ripping massive bong hits. You know, it's like fun stuff. Like, not everyone is willing to go and do that, right? Not everyone's willing to go and do content like that. And so I thought it was cool. And her match was so close today, and it was going. I was thinking, she's probably not going to make it, but this is just an absolutely terrific showing for her first time.
You know, it's funny. She's younger, and I think that, ripping bong hits is not as taboo for that age group as it is for us, right? Like, because like if you were doing that shit like 10 years ago, I'd be like, dude, you're gonna fucking lose your job. What are you doing? Now it's legal. Like, what
right?
Who's gonna say shit, right? So it's a very different era. But I like even now, like I would be hesitant to post a video like that. Instead, I would post a video with me topless with you two in a hot tub.
Yeah, I mean, not weird at all. When she first posted the first time she did it, I posted that and I go, it just still blows my mind that you can post this on the internet,
right?
It's legal. Like it was like I walked in when I moved back from California. I don't know if you guys know, I used to live out west, but when I was driving back with my dad, we stopped in California, in Colorado, and it was legal to grow weed there. And my buddy had like a grow thing in his basement, and I walk in and I was just like, this is insanity, because this is legal. Like, this is legal. Like, I've been my whole life, I'm like, oh shit, weed. Now it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, weed. There it is. Like, and it just was delicious. It smelled good. You could touch it. And like, I wasn't afraid I was going to go to jail. And now it's even better because like they put it in different stuff. It's not even like you got to smoke it. Like you can eat it. You can put a topical oil on something, you can drip. Yeah, you can have like a little drops there, whatever. I mean, it's just a fucking hell of a time.
Tracy, this right here is addict talk right here. This is addict talk.
I was thinking it was an ad read. I was trying to stop him. I thought
are we making money off that read right there?
I hope so.
My whole relationship with all that is, since I'm not a marijuana guy, is I've always thought this is stupid that it's illegal. And then when it became legal, I was like, I don't care. I mean, good that there's not another thing that's illegal for people to get arrested for, but like otherwise, I'm just like, this doesn't affect me.
But it's funny, right? It's funny in like perspective, right? Like that, like we look at a video like that, or we look at the difference between a few years and now of people like posting the bets that they've made and things like that.
And too, and
yes, but yet like we've always just assumed like us three. In a hot tub is normal video.
Oh yeah. Imagine if that had been illegal and we were skirting the law for a lot of years, and then all of a sudden, they legalized hot tub videos. And we're like rejoicing out in the streets. Can you imagine that? Like our whole fan base is like, yes, we can do this publicly.
Yeah.
Well, it's to me, they're all equally ridiculous to be illegal. Yes. So yes, I mean, to me that beef, that's not even a wild scenario, because it was the same kind of idea of like because I could imagine someone making the case like this is ruining children's minds.
I hope children don't watch those videos.
Their baseball analysis is off base, and plus they have man tits. So Jesus, we gotta get them out of here.
These fat guys are boiling in that pot of water right there.
The fat white guy doesn't even wear sunscreen, and he's red by the end. Christ.
Now, I think, honestly, when we're talking 108 tourney, Treasy, you're bearing the lead as you pounded the fuck out of My Sock Summer. I'm surprised we're able to do a podcast. There's no bad blood between you two guys, but that's 2 years in a row, actually. Treasy was the 3 seed last year and beat My Sock Summer's the 2 seed. Yep. To advance to the finals of the 108 region. So
it'll be that way forever. I mean,
this might be the year of Treasy. You never know.
It's not the year of the white guy again. So I get it.
Treasy, I just want to let you know.
Bad year for us white males. So
I want to let you know, everyone up in the comments is saying they voted for My Sock Summer or Mr. Hand and not us. So all the people in the comments right now said that. You know what they are? De facto, they're losers. They lost.
No, you know what they are? They're hipsters.
They're hipsters, the hot new thing, right?
Like, I'm surprised no one was up in the comments going, "Oh, Treasy, I had those CDs that you didn't even name before they were cool." Like, it's the same bit. It's the same bit. Oh, like I voted for Mr. Hand because you don't even know about his B-sides that you've never heard.
Yep.
That's where the real gold is, So like. Get the fuck out of here, all you people! Like,
I've seen a lot of people in there in the comments saying you got to vote for Mailman Jack tomorrow. You know what? No, I don't. Because Mailman Jack is a longtime beef loaf hater. He always comes out against me. I noticed today he didn't. He didn't, and I know why he didn't. Because he wants my vote tomorrow. Because he's nervous.
That's why
he's nervous because he's nervous about GD. Because them young kids, they're coming with that shit, man. Kids. They beat fans since 1962. And Mailman Jack, he's got a real fight on his hands tomorrow. That's all I got to say, man. I'm not saying who I'll vote for, but my vote's not locked on Mailman Jack because he's a longtime beef loaf hater. I know it.
What a dickhead.
Mine is locked. Mine is locked.
I'm voting
Jack.
For him.
But I like
GD.
I like these new kids coming in. I like the.
I do too.
I was when it was going to take me too long to explain it in a recap video, but like all I could think of when I saw that GD was winning was the day that you came to us to tell us like you were going to put him in.
Yeah.
And all I could think of was the I'm going to get you, sucker. When he's like, this is that new blood I was telling you about.
I felt about it because I didn't really know much of his Twitter. But then when I put that thread out there and everyone's like, yeah, this is the guy. I'm like, oh, man, I got to check this out, you know? So I put it. And then actually I've DM'd with him a little bit. And GD seems really cool. And GD actually reached out to me after his win against fans since 1962. He's like, hey, he's saying that, me and my friends are DMing him stuff. We're not. I'm just telling you, we would never do anything like that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know who to believe. I don't really care. But it was nice that he did reach out and was like, hey, we wouldn't do that shit. And he also reached out about the bots. He's like, you weren't being serious, were you? I'm like, no, this is a joke for a long time in the tournament. Like, that's why I brought it up in the recap. I'm just busting your balls. You know?
I was pissed
what, you're gonna box
saying the bots, man. Bots. B-O-T-S.
Oh, the bots.
I was pissed at you for bringing it up because I'm like, if it fucking happens now, I'm gonna blame Beef Loaf. We'll be right back to fuck Beef Loaf 2021.
It's not gonna happen because people get the bit now. Like even people, like a great example of someone getting the bit was Summer George today with the giveaway with the shoes. Okay,
yeah, this
is how you leverage our 13,000 fans, right? When we're doing a tournament, we got the spotlight on your ass. You do that. Another guy who's leveraging the shit out of this isn't even in the tournament. Is our guy K-Fids. He's doing a daily thing where he tells who he's voting for, and it's fucking hilarious. That's the type of shit. Leverage your own shit on our thing. We love it, man.
The Creed bassist thing today, like. I was like, because I couldn't remember. There's a bass player, and I think it's probably it's a different band. It's like Three Doors Down or something, where the guy just like went off the deep end. And so I looked up Creed bassist to see if it was him, and like the first thing that popped up, My Sex Summer. Did you see this? I posted it.
Yeah, I saw.
It was like he's talking all this shit about Pearl Jam, and I'm like, well, and I'm just like seeing shit like Eddie Vedder wishes he was as good as Scott Stapp. It's just like, it's one of those hindsight's 2020 things. Right. Like I'm sure in the moment he was like, we're one of the biggest bands in the world. Fuck these guys. And now you look back at it and you're like, oh my God.
The commercial success of Pearl Jam took a big fucking hit like after Vitalogy, right? When they stopped making videos and stopped being on radio, it didn't make any like popular, like overly popular songs. But yet Creed was all over the place. So this guy definitely was like real cock strong at that point. And in the quote, it said, I don't like the direction that Pearl Jam went, and I'm going to blame Eddie Vedder. And I thought that was hilarious, but he wasn't wrong in the moment per se, because he was. He just weren't. Well, he was right. He was, but like honestly, like they still weren't making. It wasn't big. It wasn't really. It wasn't the same thing. It's really hard to continue at like such a high level, as Creed found out. As you're going Pearl Jam won the war, obviously. Like they have their
shit.
Their fucking fans. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, bro. Yeah, motherfucker, fuck people of 2021. Yep, let's do it.
I don't
make
care,
a fucking beer about that shit.
I don't care about this. I agree with Treasy. Everyone wants to go with the hipster take and all this stuff. You've been friends with the Beeflo for a long time, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh man, this is a tough decision this round. I don't know if I'm gonna go with the Beeflo. I see you. I see y'all, man. I remember this.
No, this is I got distracted talking romantically about Pearl Jam, but also who leveraged this tournament very well is the score. 670 score. So
there is no question.
they're definitely using it to like get their ratings up because I know it's been tough over there.
Yeah, I know.
So they've been talking a lot
we're
about
putting their
carrying
ratings up.
them, right?
I get, yeah. I get,
No,
Like,
the Lockdown
that's
Sox
the
guys
thing.
have a good understanding of how to do this sort of thing. They
listen.
and this is what you should. This is what you watch. The people that we've
Yes.
named here, watch how they do that. Like, let's say you're someone and you really want you get in this tournament next year, and you have a blog or something, and you really want people to read your blog post. Tag your blog posts to your poll because a lot of people are going to be looking at. Yeah, if you have a podcast or something special that you did, or a great meme or something like that. Tag it to these things. This is what it's for. We're putting it out there. We're doing it for 3 weeks of the year to give you a chance to do it because we can't see all this shit all the time.
If you're a white rapper named Steve O, put your mixtape down.
The return, Steve O. That guy. Vote Steve O.
You fellas up for some White Sox talk?
Why the fuck not? Why wouldn't we?
It's a rough day for it, but
not a good one.
Let's get into it. Well, first we'll get into the other injury that we have on the roster right now, which is the Adam Engel hamstring injury. So he's out at least a couple weeks. It sounds like it's going to go past opening day and sometime, maybe a home opener, maybe a little later than that. But this kind of makes, even before the rest of the stuff today, kind of makes Adam Eaton an everyday kind of guy, which I don't like. But I got to bring up one quote that I saw, and this was in a Scott Merkin article about the Engel injury. Is from Tony La Russa, where he says that Adam Engel, he's a fast healer. What? What is this based on? Like, he just met Adam Engel, and he's out there like, the muscles on this guy's body, when they tear, they heal faster than a normal human being. He's basically fucking Wolverine.
It reminds me of my cousin Vinny when they're asking about the guy about cooking the grits. He's like, I'm a fast cook, I guess. That's Adam Engel's leg.
Do the laws of physics cease to exist on Adam Eaton's leg?
Now listen.
Oh, Adam Engel. Don't Freudian slip Adam Eaton as an injury already. We can't afford that. Dude. Teresa, you take that shit back immediately.
Fucking already fucked us. Don't fuck us more.
Damn it. Slow healer.
Delete this podcast. Let's start over. We cannot have that bad will in here.
We'll be right back, folks.
Anyways, it's fine.
No, it's Chorizo. I would ask you, because you are like the same body style as Adam Engel. Double bubbles. Do you guys the juicy double? Do you heal faster the legs because you got more blood flow in the buttocks or what? I mean, what are we talking here? Like, let me know.
I've not, believe it or not, I've not torn my ass. But I have pulled, I have pulled a hamstring back in the day. And I will tell you, it could have been the fact that at the time I was a smoker or a drug user or a drinker
or a midnight toker.
I did not heal fast. I would not have been ready for opening day.
What were you doing that you tore a hamstring, might I ask?
I didn't tear my hamstring. I pulled my hamstring. I played sports in high school.
No, man. I know. But what were you doing?
This was high school.
Okay.
Which doesn't bode well for all the things I said about what I did. But nevertheless, yeah, like in high school, like I got hurt all the time because I'm a fragile little bitch. Basically, like Alshon Jeffrey stayed on the field more than I did when I was in high school.
Terrible.
That's terrible. That's a bad comparison. Yeah, I mean, I look at this injury and like going into this morning, because I was doing my notes this morning, I was like, yeah, this is not good. But like we could be hearing something really, really bad later. And then, yeah, that's where it went.
Before we move on to that, I got a couple quick notes on Adam Engel here. Number one, Treasy, was that Adam Engel's injury? Was that the ghost of Austin Jackson just floating by that you saw? Did you see that? Did you get like a little flashback of JB Shuck in center field? Because I did when that happened.
It kind of was. I mean, and you had even said, "Is Billy Hamilton this year's JB Shuck?"
I think he
Fucking
is.
you
I think he's that
guys.
guy. And the other thing I wanted to bring up,
We have a lot on our conscience. I think
Yeah.
at this point,
It's
Beef.
all
We've
the
said a lot of things we shouldn't have said.
it's all the weight of like the time when they were gonna be good, when they stocked up on free agents, but they didn't turn out to be good. And then all the years of the rebuild when they could have taken chances on guys, or that maybe they did take some chances, and they didn't hit shit out of like the random offshoot guys. I mean, they got
Mhm.
one good year of Daniel Palka, and that's fucking it out of all the random shit that they tried. Like, so I think it's a lot of that on us. But I mentioned to you guys when we were previewing the outfielders before the season, I mentioned to you guys, is it possible we just saw Adam Engel's prime, and that what we're going to see after last year is look, I don't want him to be a fucking fast healer. With the way he plays the game, his skill set, he needs that quick twitch. I need him to be a slow healer. I need him to make sure that hamstring ain't going to get fucked up again. He's got to rest long enough because he's not effective as like a half-ass speed guy. He's got to have all the speed and all the power. Otherwise, he's not worth the shit. Like, he's not a guy
Putting him in a little cage like Veal. Like future.
I want him in the cryo chamber with right behind David Kaplan. They're in there together, and that's how they're gonna heal up. They're gonna get in that cryo chamber and use the cold to heal up. We can't rush an Adam Engel back. It's hilarious to say it even. We cannot rush an Adam Engel back. Just fucking wait until the guy's ready. Because if it's a lingering thing the whole year, he's gonna be useless. He's got to be.
I mean, like that. His legs are what seals the deal for him. Like that's the most important part of his game, whether it be in the outfield or on the bases. So like, yeah, I agree. Like he's got to, but the good thing is, Beef, he's a fast healer. Like he's probably already healed. Like he's
maybe he does blood transfusions like Tony La Russa.
I mean, maybe that Man of Steel shit wasn't fake. Like maybe he's actually Superman.
Fuck that. He wouldn't have got hurt if he was Superman. Superman doesn't go down with a goddamn hamstring. Are you kidding me? It takes kryptonite to bother Superman. Not running around a little bit and you were prancing around and you're
that would be
or whatever and you hurt your hamstring.
That would have been a great part of the Superman movie. Like Christopher Reeve's flying through the air. He's my hamstring.
He had to coast into a skyscraper to deal with his hamstring that was injured.
Falling out of the air.
How dare you?
My God.
All right. Well, now that we got a good laugh in, I think it's time to talk about the worst part of all of our days. Today is well, maybe not my sex summer, his ass beating. But
yeah, I think that his ass beating is the worst.
Eloy,
as much as I want to tell you I don't care, I did care. So
Eloy is out.
I'm glad you care.
Eloy's going to be out 5 to 6 months. Torn coral. The first thing I thought about was that PointsBet probably wishes they booked my over 73.5 home run.
Yep.
I'm going to think so.
But they did not. But really, this really fucking sucks. And I will let you guys rant. I did a little Engel and maybe killed Adam Eaton in the last segment. So I'll let you guys go. Get it all out. Get it all out, fellas.
Let me level set first, and then my Sox summer, you pile in here. I just want to say what this kind of means for the White Sox. So legitimately, most of the projection modules out there, if you look at them, the best projected hitter on the White Sox was Eloy Jimenez. Mm-hmm. And it was generally not that close. Now, a lot of other players, maybe they get more value because of defense or base running and those things. But as far as just at the plate, Eloy Jimenez was the best projected hitter in general, Zips and Steamer and some of these other projection modules. So it's going to be difficult, even if you can figure out a situation where you can get someone in left field to replace kind of some of that offense, to soak up the value on the offensive side. And you know that it's kind of nonlinear. You can only do so much defense to prevent runs, but you can do kind of almost unlimited offense. And Eloy was such a good offensive player that it's a very tough spot to replace. It's going to be very hard for the White Sox to replace him.
Well, and that's something that I have my Cub I had some Cub buddies that pay attention to a lot of shit send me a text today, and they were just like, dude, saw Eloy's out for like 5 to 6 months. That really fucking sucks. And I was like, yeah, it does fucking suck. It also sucks how he fucking got hurt, because it was such a bullshit, stupid, like boneheaded thing that he did. Like, it wasn't even like it wasn't like he, like, okay, Engel, I watched Engel get hurt. That was dumb too, but not as dumb as what Eloy did. Engel was like running and trying to throw it. Like, I mean, dude, just fucking save it, bro. Like, it's not a big deal. But then to watch what Eloy did, I was like, oh God, Jesus Christ. Like, you know, it's, you can't, I mean, in hindsight, 2020, obviously, right? Like, you can say, oh, he's probably done that a million fucking times and it's never happened. But like, oh, don't do that, you big lug. You know, like, and he did it, and now he's gonna learn, and like next year he'll be on fire. But like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I was trying to think of something, like, okay, so I wrote my notes before the announcement came out, and I said, like, what's another dumb injury? And like, the first thing that pops in my head is like Carlos Quentin, like smashing his bat and breaking his hand, and he's done. And then, is there anything more embarrassing than what Eloy did? And I thought, Jose Canseco ball bounced off his head and over the wall, stuff like that. These are things that are embarrassing. But Josh Nelson, guy that we like from Sox Machine, said that the projections now for the Sox to win 87, apparently on one of the betting sites or whatever, won from 87 to 84. So we lost 3 games because of Eloy getting hurt.
Sounds about right.
Now, what I'm going to say here, I hope everybody takes note. We have a +2 game Assad father who takes care of their field. So, folks, the season's not lost. And I think you should hammer that number. I don't know what that means because I'm not familiar with betting numbers, but like, hammer that number, because we're actually only lost 1 game on that. And they're giving you 2 for free, because the Saad father puts us a +2. Eloy puts us a -3. That's actually a 1 game difference. So hit that number, because we're going to go over, because our grass is taken care of very nicely by the Saad father.
More grass talk from my Sox Summer. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I'm not sponsored yet, but I'm looking your way, Midway Dispensary. So let's do some things.
My Sox Summer, you bring up the point of the goofy, dumb injury, which that's gonna be like, a lot of people, that's gonna be the thing they ride, and that's the headline, and it's he's dumb and he didn't know how to play the outfield and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's not, I won't disagree with any of that. But Eloy did get hurt last year before the playoffs, just running the bases.
Doing something.
So effectively what you kind of have here is a guy who's just very injury prone in general. There's not going to be an effective way to block him from having injury risk. You could block some of it by DHing him, so you have less opportunities out in the field. And I've seen a lot of that out there.
Yep.
That makes sense. You don't have a great roster for that right now. Okay. If your thought was DH Eloy, your second thought needed to be trade Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah.
You kind of can't balance all this stuff, because you also have Zach Collins there too, who's kind of a DH as well. So my thought is, yes, if you want to call Eloy a dumbass, go for it. But the roster's not built well to kind of protect him from himself. Basically, it's built to have him play left field for 150 games.
Yeah, and he's just the perfect level of athletic and awkward to like make himself get injured a lot.
Kinda, yeah, that's kind of right. Because he has like average sprint speed, Treasy. Like he runs fast.
Yeah, he's a fast guy.
Before we knew the severity of the injury, I had written in my notes, what if you decided to right now, let's say he had been okay. You switch him and Adam Eaton. You put Adam Eaton in left, you put him in right. And the only reason I thought of this is like, the ball comes off the bat differently, and he won't react quick enough to the ball coming off the bat in right field to do anything too outrageous. He'll get the things that are close to him, and all the other shit will bounce off the wall, and he'll just have to go pick it up, and he'll probably be safe. Like, these are the kinds of contingency plans you need to think of when you have an injury risk like this.
Well, and why do the Sox put themselves in this situation constantly? Like, I know we joke. I mean, we don't joke, but we're serious. Right field is never somebody that's like a top notch, right? And our left field wasn't a top notch. And my buddy, this Cubs fan was like, why isn't he just DHing anyway? I was like, because we need bats in positions that people that are going to bat. Like,
Correct.
we have to have that. And he was not 100% awful. He clearly was 75% awful, but he was not 100% awful. So like it outweighed, and like you were saying earlier, it outweighed it, and you had to do it. So I don't know. I wish. The narrative had already changed. It had gone from where we and friends like us and people that think like us were saying, we don't have the depth, we don't have this, and then you had a lot of the water carriers and the rah-rahers saying, no, what we actually, depth isn't a real big thing, on most championship teams. They're usually only one person shallow, and I
that's
feel like
bullshit.
that's 100% bullshit.
That's bullshit.
And we know now.
Just to you're 100% right, myself. Just to rebut some of that, you're going to see some of that out there. You're going to see some of that from big accounts. I'm not naming them. I like a lot of those people, and I think they're off base on this. The depth thing is a lot of different caveats here. You can have a ton of talent on the roster to effectively access depth, right? Had they signed George Springer, just hypothetical, you'd feel a lot less bad about Eloy right now, right?
Right.
You'd have another big time hitter and all that stuff. There's also I've seen a lot of this pushed out there too, which is kind of ridiculous. Oh, they couldn't sign this guy X because they couldn't guarantee him plate appearances. In certain instances, that's probably true. But there is someone a little further down the trough that could fit the bill that you could bring in there, right? Because there are tons of contending teams that bring in backup players to come in there and service a role. And especially when they know there's a kind of an injury risk at some spot, they're willing to come in there. Mm-hmm. But even broader, okay? And I know Terezi's going to want to jump on this, is the whole Kritz getting a promotion thing. Really, the way you make depth is you develop guys who are on your 40-man roster who can come up and fucking play and be worth a win during the season, okay? Mm-hmm. No one is saying right now, there isn't a single person on Twitter saying, it's okay, we can bring up Luis Gonzalez, it's okay, we can bring up Blake Rutherford, it's okay, we can bring up Mick Rodolfo. Those are all absolute zeros for the 2021 White Sox. Everyone is trying to put Andrew Vaughn or Zach Collins in left field. Okay, that's how you know you have no depth. That's how you know that the front office has failed building a program that is going to have some depth for you. There's no depth anywhere but the bullpen, really, at this point. Mm-hmm. Look at the starting rotation. And we were talking about this a little bit, Treasy. Reynaldo Lopez is your sixth starter. If someone gets hurt, he got lit the fuck up the last 2 years. He got lit the fuck up in spring training. He is your sixth starter. He will show up here and he will start a game if anyone gets hurt or have to miss a start or something. These are the things we mean when we say there's no depth. And people will come on our shows and various stuff and say, the depth doesn't matter that much. It does when you want to win a title. It doesn't matter that much if you just want to have like a good, fun, watchable team, which the White Sox do. And the White Sox are still in the mix. I don't care if they lost Eloy and they lost the 3 wins. There's enough volatility on the roster. They could still win this thing. But the depth argument is a real argument. And I don't appreciate people like trying. Here's the thing. Give an opinion.
Ooh, drink.
No, give an opinion on something, but don't give something unrealistic. Like you're always protecting the front office from something. You're always protecting the GM from something. The GM does tons of good stuff. We mentioned all the time on the show. He also screws up a bunch of things, and you should mention those too. And if you don't want to, that's okay. But everyone should just know you're not going to mention those and take what you say with a grain of salt. That's it.
I love it. I love the fire.
A lot of fire.
A lot of fire, Beef.
It's upsetting because we all called it, and not just we on this show. Sox fans all off season.
Yes,
were like, we could use this extra guy. We could use this other guy, and it was guys that are known or whatever. And it's like just slide them in there or whatever, and nothing. And the development hasn't come. The development of the stars has come. They have nailed the fuck out of the development of the stars, and I love it. And Rick Hahn should get credit for the extra risk he took on some of these trades in order to, like with the Nationals, he could have tried to get Victor Robles instead of getting Giolito. We're way better off that he went pitching. When everyone was going hitters, he went the other way and he took on a little more risk. And guess what? We got a fucking ace, and he deserves credit for that. All right. And I give him credit for that shit, and I think he gets credit for going with Dylan Cease instead of trying to get another hitter in that Cubs deal. Right. And Dylan Cease hasn't turned out to be a star or anything, but he was a he was okay last year. He was a guy who was serviceable.
If he's your number 4, that's pretty big.
That's a good. That's
what else
that's good enough. We'll deal with that thing. So there are things to put on the plus column, but the depth thing is definitely in the minus column. They just haven't drafted anything on the position player side, and really in the starting pitching side either. Now maybe a Jonathan Stever might come prove me wrong, or a Jimmy Lambert might come prove me wrong, and they still could do that this year. But they haven't kind of lined up that depth that you're gonna need if anything goes wrong. And like an average amount of shit is going wrong right now. Like it feels terrible, but kind of if you look around the rest of the teams, a lot of teams are getting injuries like this, or not, maybe not as extreme as Eloy right now, but maybe we're getting all of ours right this second. And the whole season has to go. You got to measure all that stuff equally. They just needed more depth.
Yeah. Yeah. And the just one more thing I want to touch on here is like, one of the problems I see with this is like, I had no problem trying to stretch Luis Robert defensively throughout the season. Right. But now you have to try and stretch him offensively. And I think that's a recipe for disaster for him, because he's a guy prone to strikeout. He's a guy prone to chasing. And now you're going to put him in a position where you're going to ask him to do more than you really needed him to do, 5 days ago. And that's, I think yesterday, and this, it's a spring training game, but he was batting in the 3 hole. And that concerns me. Like if we're going to have to move Luis Robert up in the lineup, I don't think that's setting him up for success, right? That's setting him up to strike out a shitload. And that worries me too, because then it's kind of a domino effect then of what this is going to play out for the team. And so I'm interested to see, I think you're going to have a lot of moving pieces in the outfield for the beginning of the season. And kind of throughout, right? So, yeah, but, I'm interested to see what La Russa does, right? Because that's the upgrade that you did make.
Here,
right? That's
the
upgrade that you did make, right?
Yeah.
You were tired of the lineups that Ricky was trotting out, so now you've got La Russa, who's going to be a better manager. Now he really has to show his worth, because you've got to pick the right days to play Engel or Laurie or Eaton or Billy Hamilton,
That's right.
You really need to kind of move these guys around and give them the best matchups possible. And if he can do it, great. That will probably shave a little bit off of the loss. But I don't know. I can't think of a matchup that I would go Billy Hamilton's got this one. So I'm interested to see what he does and how he kind of plays these guys, where he plays these guys. And then that's, to me, something that I'll be watching, since I won't be able to watch Eloy jack the shit out of the ball for, a nice 74 home run season.
So a few things. To take a little bit of wind out of your sails there. The actual name Blake Rutherford did get brought up today, and it was by who was private and now is public, Nick BPS, saying we're going to remember that he's on the team now because we're going to have to watch him play in left field. I also don't appreciate Nick going public now when he can clap about some shit. And then it will probably go back to private when we sign somebody to fix this mess. But we'll see. And another thing that
it's true though. It's true now.
It's
true now. Now they got a ring out in the street. When they sent 4 guys to the Yankees to get Blake Rutherford, it was this treasure. It was this thing that we need to have. And now it's. What year was that? 2017. It's 4 years later. And he's still not ready to be. No one has mentioned he should be plugged in that spot, right? No one has seriously said put him there or put Luis Gonzalez there. That's kind of part of the problem. If you can't draft or acquire a guy who's just a little bit better than AAA, that you're okay, we won't put it. They don't want to. They want to put Andrew Vaughn there, and they want to put Zach Collins there. And I don't blame people that they want to do that, because those are probably the best options.
Well, Yerman Mercedes is the best option. I mean,
he's the best option everywhere.
I love him. I love him.
I'm not so much upset about him bringing up Blake Rutherford, and he should, right? I'm upset about, hey, I'm going to make more noise now because there's negative things going on versus positive things happening, and that's the problem I have. Like,
are you equally upset that certain people, bigger name people, are out there immediately defending the GM that there's nothing done about depth?
No.
As long as you're equally upset
100%.
Because I'm 100%. A little more upset about that because it's like, someone's getting paid to do this and people are carrying water for that person. It's like, dude, we're rooting for this team.
We talked about, we're all in the same fucking boat. We said it, and I agreed with Covey, and the same deal. I said, listen, I'm going to withhold my fucking hatred on not making another move on this team until it's done. And then it was done, and I said, this is bullshit because we did not get what we needed. We got something subpar to go in right field. Who should be our fucking backup? And Adam Eaton. And we should have gotten a legit fucking bat, because if this shit would have happened with the Springer, like you said, this would have been a lot easier to absorb and be like, okay, now we don't have 3 bats. We have 2, and we have 1 guy that could be okay. You know, so like I'm 100% on board with that, and I'm not saying the team didn't do all I'm not saying the team did all they could. I don't agree with that. I don't think they did, and I don't think people should be defending them and should be holding their jock and saying, yes, you did a great job. No, you didn't, because there was still a hole, and it was like in 2016 or 2017 when people were telling us, they could win the division. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? They have 2 starting pitchers right now. Who's the third? Who's going to be your 4th and 5th fucking starter? Because the hype machine was in full effect. And the rebuild, it's going great, fucking gangbusters. And then we didn't have a 4th and 5th pitcher, and like, we sucked. We still sucked, you know, like, and we knew we were going to suck, and it wasn't shocking to anyone.
Speaking of 5th pitchers.
You're moving? We're not going to talk Puig?
We're not going to talk Puig.
I got to go take a whiz. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, we'll talk all about Carlos Rodon, and we'll see you in an hour.
Yep. I'll be right back.
So, Beef, Carlos Rodon is the 5th starter. And let me just get your quick thoughts on it. I will give you mine right after that.
Awesome. So, I mean, before the season started, we actually did a show. It was the 3 of us. It was Josh Nelson from Sox Machine. We did our offseason plans, and I thought they should have tendered Rodon, because my thought was he's as risky as the other pitchers that are out there. And I think even just a little bit of something that gets him going is like enough to make him a guy you could put at the back of the rotation. He's not going to be the guy who you drafted 3rd overall anymore. Let's forget that existed. So let's just try to get a guy who could throw 100 innings for us. Try to give us 18 starts, 16 starts, or whatever it is. And so far in spring training, I'm not taking a victory lap yet. Let's not count these chickens. They ain't hatched. But he's had a good spring training so far. And from what I can tell, reading Daryl Van Schouwen's article, it's a lot about him getting non-tendered. And he realized he needed to put the nutrition in place. He needed to put the physical things in place. And I mean, there's some great, just one really quick quote in here from Ashley, who's his wife. He's got a great ride or die wife. She says, when everything went down, I saw a light switch flip for him, and he was so determined. And she later talks about how they got into a more rigid eating pattern. They weren't eating out as much, and he really committed to working out. And so just that little tweak, sometimes is enough for a guy with a lot of talent to make it. Treasy, what do you think?
Beef, when we talked about the best shape of their lives thing earlier in the season, did I not describe that fucking article to a T?
You did, before it was written. Well, before it was written.
So, yeah, he's looked good against bums, and he seems to be healthy, and that's basically a 5th starter.
That's what we need.
And you know what, though? I had this whole thing written about tempering expectations, and fuck that. I need to be excited. So I want to get rid of like all the Eloy shit that we just talked about. Fuck this. I'm going on one of my out there. 17 wins, Carlos Rodon. Sub 3 ERA.
Holy
Comeback player of the year. Book that shit right now. Best shape of his life, Beef. best shape of his life.
Now that shit could actually happen because he does have the pedigree. I mean, so did Omar Mazzara, but
hey, you know what? And Mazzara hit those 3 home runs in 5 games, just like I fucking told you, except it's this year with the Tigers. But you know, I don't care, Beef. You know, like I was exactly right about how this article would go down. So I was right once. Now I'm just gonna go way out on a limb and see if I can be right on something way less probable happening.
Yeah.
17 wins, sub 3 ERA.
74 home runs for Eloy too, so you were right on that.
So, let's speak of the dead like that, you know.
I'm just saying, if he starts 17 games, I'm going to consider that a fucking win for the White Sox. Okay, it's like
people in the comments want to know. People in the comments would like to know how much Treasy drank before the show.
Look, when Eloy gets his Winter Soldier arm, he'll come back and he'll hit the 74. I was just a year off. You know, it's like when people tell you, like when you used to have those like cults and shit, they're like, the world is gonna end on this day, and then they're like, we were 1 year off. It'll be next year. That's me with Eloy right now. But I am right on the Carlos Rodon thing. And Beef just left.
He loafed. He loafed. He just loafed.
Beef just was like, he was like, I can't take any more of this bullshit that's spewing out of Treasy's mouth right now. My Sox Summer, what are you thinking about?
Here's what's funny about this. And this is something that I wanted to talk about. And I even started at one of them, those are musing articles on the 108 blog. And it was like, every time people mention Carlos Rodon, they were like, if he stays healthy, he can be spectacular. If he stays this. No, we don't say that about anybody else, like on the team. No one says, if, Lucas Giolito stays healthy, he's going to be a great player this year. No one says, and they should have been, if Eloy Jimenez stays healthy, he will be a great player this year. No one says that until we come to Carlos. And then listening to what you guys were talking about and saying that, oh, he's changed up a few things. Oh, he's eating right. He's getting some workouts in. He's doing this. If he fucking comes out and is really good this year, and that is the thing that changed it, I am going to be livid that he waited this long to realize, hey, maybe I shouldn't be fucking eating goddamn double cheeseburgers and then trying to go out and throw a game. Or I should have actually been working out versus sitting in a duck blind and blowing away defenseless ducks with a fucking shotgun.
But my your point is exactly correct, but it's also the human condition. We all at some point get to the spot where we're like, fuck, I better take this thing seriously that I'm whatever it is you're working on, right? We all get to that point. So I really feel for him. It's kind of the same thing, right?
Avi Garcia, same kind of deal.
It happens to everyone in some domain. And so I'm a little bit with Treasy. I'm really rooting for him. I would love for him to have an absolutely outstanding season.
I'm rooting for him too, but I'm a little bit with my Sox Summer here of like, what are the Sox doing to not encourage these guys to not be like lazy fat fucks? Like
another thing.
Like, because you brought up Avi, right? And like, it's like Avi's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna leave and then I'll get healthy. And it's like, well, the Sox letting him go really, really taught him a lesson. And it's like, why couldn't they have taught him a fucking lesson that like you're a professional athlete, act like one while you're here? Like I don't know why getting released has to get you to that point. Like someone should have been able to ingrain that in you if they're doing anything good with player development.
Well, and isn't that something that's been brought up before, that there's like no nutrition is like on the White Sox? Like there isn't somebody back there saying, hey, you should eat this and this will help you, or like somebody going down with these guys and saying, hey, like this probably isn't good for you. Like what on the fifth time Carlos Rodon is like thrown out his arm because of whatever. Somebody didn't say, listen, the Big Montana from Arby's should not be your go-to meal. Like maybe you should eat some fucking broccoli. Like I see you killing all these animals. Why are you not eating them? Why are you eating processed foods? No shade, Jim. But like, it's just like, come on. Like, it's just like, we're in 2021. Like I eat good. for Christ's sake. And I look like a mess.
You
And I'm not
you just had an hour diatribe about eating mac and cheese. Don't tell me you're eating good. And then you
I have
had
veggies with it.
40 different types of chips that you like. Like
I do like
chips.
chips.
Get the fuck out
That is
here.
the
All right,
problem. The problem with my chips. But
let's
I'm
bring
not a
in some
professional
comments here.
athlete, and I don't have the pedigree.
White Sox
motherfucker.
nutritionist.
Let's bring in a few
I
comments here. My guy who hooked me up with the phone today, Justin Zavoda, he's like,
He's
they
all
wore
up in
his
there.
they wore his arm out in NC State. That's true. They made him a real workhorse. So like they put a lot of this mileage on him. Luke Taylor says nutrition expert, my Sox summer. And then Southside Agenda Charlie says MSS for team nutrition coaches.
Hey,
no
listen.
thanks. No.
Hold on. First off,
Now
Fuck you.
don't
Fuck
put
you.
the whole stick of butter in there. And you'll
no. Hold on a
We're eating
fucking
healthy
second.
here. Only 3/4 of a stick, not a whole stick.
Listen.
You assholes.
Our goddamn athletic trainer, up until about 3 years ago, put me to shame. Okay, and he's telling guys what they should do to stay healthy. So why can't I be the guy that goes out there and tells them what to eat?
His fucking teams were exceptionally healthy, though. That's the crazy thing about it.
The
But-
comments are killing right now. Jose Munoz
Hands.
Jr. MSS not eating enough butter equals eating good, and our guy Darren Brown, Carlos Rodon only eats Mars crab meat.
They're
The
doing
comments are
good.
I'll be honest with you. The comments on YouTube are much better than the show.
Alex Rude's in there too, my man. Alex Rude.
Alex
Thank
is
you,
in there
Alex,
too.
for all your stuff.
Everyone's
He
in
sent me
there.
a little nice heartfelt message over there on the Twitters, and he was like, "Oh man, thank you very much." I was like, "Fuck you, man. You're coming in and doing work. Like, don't ask for thank yous. I'm thanking you. Like, I don't need to kiss your ass when you're doing something that's good for everything." So
We have fucking awesome fans in the 108, even though I
Yes.
just MF'd them like a half hour ago.
right.
for not
Well,
voting
Alex
for
is
me.
not voting for you.
So
He's
assholes vote
voting
for
your
me
brother.
next round against Treasy.
Yeah.
Fuck Treasy.
No, vote for
Fuck
Treasy,
Beef Loaf,
Alex.
man.
Treasy, I
Fuck
love
Beef
you, baby. No, I don't really mean fuck you. It's all for show. It's kayfabe.
Nah, fuck you.
So, but yeah, so Carlos Rodon is a 5. If he stays healthy, as angry as I'll be, it was just a simple diet change, and that flipped the script, and like going to the gym. Like, as angry, I would still be happy that we have a solid fifth starter, and he will be making a good paycheck for his wife and their 2 kids. So.
But
Bro,
I
he's not doing a Richard Simmons workout like you, motherfucker. He's working out for 2 hours.
You think I'm
you know what?
I'd be a lot
You know what,
skinnier if I did Richard Simmons workout.
Beef, I want to know that though, right? Because like, think about it. Like, there are people out there that can rationalize things like I'm eating well when they're eating mac and cheese and calling a potato a vegetable, right? Like that mindset's out there. So if Carlos Rodon is telling us that he's eating healthy, I don't know that I trust it yet. I trust it enough that he'll get 17 wins and have a sub-3 ERA.
On
But-
the article, it said he
Hit
hasn't
4 home
really
runs.
lost any weight. He just looks noticeably thinner.
So
he's
that-
redistributed the weight.
I'm
so he
fine
hasn't
with
lifted
that
him.
because like if he's getting some muscle on him,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what it sounds like.
hopefully not any torn muscles, but just the muscles.
Yeah,
Not
that's
yet.
good.
You know that I'm down with that. But in the meantime, Beef, why don't you pay some bills?
I would love to. Hey, batter, wings, splatter, splatter. Catch all the baseball action while you enjoy fresh, never frozen wings, gourmet sandwiches, and world famous house-made blue cheese dip. Watching at home? Order on Wings and Rings app and score convenient curbside pickup. Buffalo Wings and Rings Bridgeport, your Southside baseball headquarters.
All right,
It's a quickie, that one.
That's
That's
a
a
good
quick ad read.
BWR baby. I got to get some this weekend, man. I haven't had it in about 4 days.
I was gonna
So,
say, I smashed some last weekend. It was terrific.
Still
So-
good, guys. Just so you know, still good.
So we're gonna
Buffalo
have a little-
chicken nachos, man. It's my joint. I love that shit.
we're gonna have a little
Did you get
fun
the
with
box?
the actual team.
Did you munch that chicken nacho box?
Whoa.
Hello.
Did you?
I won't say.
Ah, nice.
So we're gonna have a little fun with the actual team today, and that's how we're gonna do a quick draft, and we're going to do a reliever draft. So we're gonna do a snake draft.
I love it.
It's gonna go the way that I am looking at the screen right now, which is My Sox Summer number 1.
Okay.
Me number 2, and then Beef with the turnaround.
I love it.
I think I have the easiest pick of the entire draft, to be quite honest.
I don't think you do.
No, I think
No,
it
I
is.
think
I think
you
I
gotta-
do.
I
I
think
think
you
he
gotta.
does.
I think
I think I do.
Guy's
Yeah.
pissing hot, but I think he's got the right guy.
Yeah,
Go for
I
it.
think I got the right guy.
Kick it off.
The motherfucking Liam Hendricks. That's all. I think that's all you can pick as the number one guy, right?
The South Slider.
The South Slider. We paid so much money for this motherfucker. If I did not pick him as a number one, that's another failure by the goddamn organization. Okay, I'm just like contributing to this fucking failureness that's going on over there, like 3 blocks. Liam Hendricks got to be my number one go-to in the fucking pen as a closer in his defined role. So yeah, I mean, if we don't see big things from this guy, if he's not winning games for us, yeah, I'm gonna be really disappointed. So I'm gonna have to take him number one. Shout out to Aussie Soxman, who I know is down in Florida, hopefully staying healthy, and he is pounding land sharks because he keeps taking pictures of them and sending them to me. He's like, hey, it's me in Florida with a land shark, you know. So
like, oh, that was great.
I do a good Australian accent,
I'm
right?
very impressed.
Hey,
Paul Hogan.
By the way, I will say this, Treasy. I was going to get a Cameo to support me, and J Mac is not on Cameo, so
I know I looked it.
I was trying to get it, and he's not there, and then I was like, don't. His wife's pregnant. Don't message his pregnant wife. Hey, do you think your husband do a cameo for me? I'll send you money. I know he jerks off for money on his sites and his OnlyFans and whatever. So like this would be really easy for him. But like I was like, I probably shouldn't bother. And then I was like, so the next guy that was in line.
I'm losing the thread here. You want him to jerk off for you?
No, I didn't. I did not. And that was something I was going to talk about too.
Vote my socks.
Like
my socks. Like, just to let you know, when you go a little bit too long in a story, I lose the thread, and then I thought you wanted J Mac to do.
No, I don't want him.
That you want Eddie Adams to do in the last podcast.
I didn't think I was going too long. But the other guy I Googled, all right, in Cameo, I did bass players, and your favorite bass player is up there, and it's the guy from not the Licks. The Australian band that you fucking hate that I said that you like. You know who I'm talking about.
I know what band you're talking about. I can't think of
the name either. But he's like he's up there.
Why?
But like he couldn't guarantee like that he's gonna get it done in a day. So like he doesn't do the 24-hour return. Yeah, it's like the I don't know. I'll look it up. But like, yeah, he was there, and he does pretty good ones. So.
I looked up a few to go against you.
Yeah.
So a bunch weren't on there. So Gianna Michaels wasn't on there.
No, I looked her up too. Yeah.
I did look up Ice-T because I wanted Ice-T to do
on there.
Like basically a diss track at you, basically saying like, I never met this guy. I don't want to meet this fucking guy. $450 for Ice-T. Yeah. I was like. Fuck this. I'll make a GIF of this asshole being passed out. All right. So I'm the second pick. I mean, like, I think to me, this is probably the next best guy in our bullpen. So I'm going to take him. I wanted to kind of go with a sweatier guy, but I'm going to go with this guy instead. So I'm going to go with Aaron Bummer to be my number 2 overall.
Yeah, that seems like an obvious pick right there.
It does, but
second guy.
I think there's guys that I like more in the bullpen than Bummer, not for pitching reasons.
Well, they might get back to you because I got a really tough decision here right here.
You got 2. There's like 4 guys that you got to take 2 of them.
There are 4 guys that I really like right here. So number 1, I mean, how can I not do this, man? Guy broke my heart.
I was gonna say he unfollowed you.
I still fucking love him. I still want to watch him pitch. The first time I saw him pitch,
I love it.
It's just like I saw him pitch yesterday. I love him. I got to go with my guy, Cody. My first pick. My second pick, this gets a little more dicey because I could go with a guy whose style is more like my style, or with a guy who is a little flashier, kind of, you might like him a little bit more.
Who's the asthmatic asshole of the
fuck it? I'm gonna go with the fat guy that throws slow balls. I'm gonna go with Evan Marshall because I think Evan Marshall is just going to be effective. I'm not gonna go with any of the flashy kids. I'm gonna go with the older guy, the veteran, who knows his shit, knows he doesn't have to throw that hard, and he's still gonna get people out. And he's been dominant for 2 years. He was dominant in spring training. I expect to be dominant in 2021 season.
So,
forgetting Sarah.
I think we're getting it. So Evan Marshall was the guy that I was thinking of at number 2, obviously, because he's a sweaty dude. He's our kind of guy. I think he's our guy for the season. Like, I think that's the guy we're really going to get behind.
I'll be honest with you, Treasy. Like you mentioned, he's our guy. I've never been more jealous. I don't care about player interviews. I don't want to interview any players. I've never been more jealous than when Josh Nelson, Sox Machine, interviewed Evan Marshall. And he not only is he our guy, he's a fat guy, he's a reliever. He was incredible in the interview too. And I'm like, fuck, man, that's the kind of interview we need on this show.
I mean, do you want to do that? Do you want to get a twofer? We'll do
a
little Cody Hoare.
Let's
get Cody Hoare then.
You don't want me.
Let's get him. Oh, we can get him easy.
You don't care about me.
Oh, I get. I'm gonna get
heartbroken.
It'll be your birthday present.
I can't do it.
Maybe he's on Cameo. So there's 2 guys here. They both throw incredibly hard. I think, but if I got to go with the guy, I got to go with the flow, man. I got to go with the better flow. Man. So I'm gonna go Michael Kopech right here.
Ooh, I love it.
Broke my heart. All right.
I mean, just great hair on the kid, and he's a
pitched
guy
today,
who could be
he
absolutely fantastic.
He gave up one of the longest home runs I've ever seen today.
Then it's perfect
So good
that I
pick.
picked him right now.
Ever. Never seen one more further.
I was like, whoa, that's way gone.
All right, so I gotta take the nerd from Tennessee, and I'll go with Garrett Crochet.
Beautiful.
That'll be my number 2 pick.
It gets dicey now.
And now, yeah, it's like who do you like more? Playing ball here. So there's 2 guys that I could go with, and there's 3 guys. Honestly, man. I mean, you know what? I'm just gonna go with him. He's Wally Money's favorite person. Or at least his mom is. Let's go with Jace Fry. We're gonna take Jace Fry.
Nice.
Yes.
Guy's got a
I know he's hurt, but I think he's gonna come back and he's gonna be okay because he's on the IL right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or is he starting? He's starting in the minors and he'll come up.
No, he's hurt.
So,
he's hurt. He's on the injured list.
Should I not have taken him? Did I just lose the draft with that?
I don't think. No, I don't think so. Because
think
there's some. It's gonna get rough in a minute.
Yeah.
No, you're Gucci with that pick. Just going to the comments. Timothy Maher says, "Loaf looking at Cherezy like, why don't he want me, Uncle Phil?" Talking about Cody Hoare.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm. This one's tough because we're getting towards the back of the bullpen. I have seen this guy more, so I'm gonna go with him because I feel like he'll definitely. I think this guy is gonna be the Cordero of this year. They're gonna throw him out there a lot. He's gonna eat up a lot of innings, so we're gonna see this guy a lot. So I'm gonna go with Matt Foster. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of Matt Foster. So I'm going quantity over quality here, guys.
He was one of my 3 guys. Yep.
It's kind of like everyone's early 20s.
See, I mean, so we've gotten through kind of
every day if you're somebody else.
Hello. We've kind of gotten through the roster of like what we expect to be here. Now we're getting to what we're not sure who's ever going to show up, or like when they show up, kind of what they're going to do. So I got back-to-back picks here. Number 1, I'm going to go with a guy who's really fucking tall, and they acquired out of nowhere. He's a non-roster invitee. I'm going to go with Tehran Guerrero.
Man, I didn't even put him on my list.
Nice.
Didn't even put him on my list.
He's gigantic. He throws hard. I feel like he's going to be the first reliever to show up once it's time to like bring additional relievers here. And then second, I mean, I got to go with a guy who I've wanted him to be good. He's never been good. He's been a high-end prospect. He's a local kid. I'm going to go with Zach Birdie as my second.
Damn it. That was my other one. God damn it. All right.
Both of those guys aren't real relievers yet, but actually one of them might come up and throw BBs for 3 months and make me look great.
I gave away a pair of Zach Birdie game-used pants from the Arizona Winter League, and the person that got them never said thank you for them. So kind of.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to decide right now. Do I want to take something that will make just me laugh, probably, or do I want to take someone who's actually going to be on the roster? Because those are my two choices right now. I'm going to leave a guy who's on the roster for My Sock Summer. So My Sock Summer, you could take the last guy on the active who's going to make the team. In Beef, this is mostly for you. I'm going to take Cody Medeiros.
Yes.
I like it.
Great name, horrible trade. People thought it was a great trade. And maybe we actually see Cody this year. Maybe, but probably don't.
He's had a good spring, actually. He's had a good spring in relief. I was looking up the stats of these guys. It was like, let's just see for shits and giggles, guys that thrown 4 or 5 innings, how they're doing. Cody Medeiros, he's been fine. Like, it's like they paid $8 million to get Joakim Soria to bring him here. They're going to flip him. And he was good the entire time he's here. So we're going to flip him for this guy. And it was like, it let all the air out of the balloon.
Yep.
Fucked up.
That's precisely what happened. I think I was vocal about it when it happened.
Quite vocal, yes.
And now here we are. I'm drafting him instead of someone who's actually on the team.
So now I think there's 2 left that could be on the team, potentially. I'm going to go with one that I know is probably going to be on the team, and I think the guy that you're talking about, and it's Jose Ruiz. Is that who you were thinking of?
No, I was not.
No? Who were you thinking of?
I thought Nick Turley. No one.
Nick
Yeah. Okay. I also had Bernardo Flores Jr. I thought maybe, that could possibly be one, but I'm going to go with Jose Ruiz because I got very angry at the few times that he pitched last year. So I figure he'll be back because they like to taunt me with shit like that. So I'm going to go with Jose Ruiz.
I love that we did a reliever snake draft and didn't get everybody on the roster.
Because no one wants Nick Turley. No, like the other teams didn't want Nick Turley. The Athletics were like, we can't. No thanks. We'll pass on him. And the Sox like, okay, we might have injuries. We may bring this guy up. What I want to know, guys, we drafted this whole thing. We drafted 12 relievers here. At what point would have been a better idea if we were basing this draft on just like F4 or something like that? Would it have been a better idea for you to draft Jimmy Cordero, who will not pitch this year at all, than whoever you drafted?
Yeah, so I think
that's Chad Cordero's jersey.
Oh no, this is Jimmy Cordero's jersey. He was cut from the 2019 Washington Nationals, and then we picked him up.
Oh, that's right, because Chad Cordero was a 60-something jersey.
I checked this because I wanted to make sure that the arms weren't stretched out crazy, and they're not. So I don't know if he wore this a lot. I have pictures of him in it, but the Washington Nationals did a 2 for like $100 or something jerseys if you bought it, and I was like, oh, this is a no-brainer, and you just got lucky. And then and I'm sure that whoever sent me this shit goes, oh, he lives in Chicago, he probably wants a Jimmy Cordero jersey. And I'm like, no, I don't. Why that? Fucking do.
Of course you do. Of course you fucking
do.
Beef. I mean. Yeah, it at some point, like the other guy that I thought about was Reynaldo Lopez. Like, where do you consider him a reliever, or do you consider him just like sitting in the minors to wait to start? And Bernardo Flores is another example.
I think both of those guys are kind of waiting to start. I mean, the other guys I had on my list that I could throw out there, like Ryan Burr, and Tyler Johnson.
I had a special one for you guys too.
Tyler.
I had Alec Hansen.
Alec Hansen.
I had Jimmy Lambert.
Jimmy Lambert?
No. Alec Hansen, no way is on the team.
Jimmy Lambert, though, he could end up here in Chicago pitching relief for sure.
It's unfortunate because I think Alec Hansen has all what he needs to be a starting major league pitcher, except the pitching part. He's tall. And he probably can have a really good motion. Maybe he just needs an Ethan Katz to fix him, and he will be there. But
maybe he needs you to be his nutritionist. And tie it all together.
Listen, we've been discussing, I'm going to be looking for a job come towards the end of the season. I'm going to have both kids in school. I need to get hired by somebody that knows that I do hot tub videos with 2 other men. So like I need like Sox know that, Goose knows this, and Buffalo Wings and Rings. I think those are the 3 options I have to get a
Midway
job.
dispensary.
So yeah, Midway, they could probably
Aldi's.
Yeah,
That's
I
You're
mean,
like a spokesperson. at
it's
this
sort of
point.
corporate though. Sort of corporate.
eBay?
Like maybe they won't like that. eBay. Well, I mean,
All right, my Sox summer. Have a little drink there, and then.
no, I'm gonna go right into it because I'm a
right.
professional. Buffalo Wings and Rings, home of the all-star flavors. Come catch all the White Sox action at the ultimate sports restaurant. From the fresh, never frozen wings and gourmet sandwiches to the world-famous house-made blue cheese dip. This isn't bar food, it's raise the bar food. Watching at home, you can be the MVP with the new build your own nacho and loaded potato bars. Order on the Wings and Rings app and score convenient curbside pickup. Buffalo Wings and Rings Bridgeport, where all-star flavors will knock your taste buds out of the park. Reserve your table today. Now, I'll say this. When you're at Buffalo Wings and Rings and you're eating, be asked to be seated by the windows where Justin has his pickup place. Justin has paid off local police officers to come and ticket those people that park in his spots that aren't picking up their food. And watching people go into the Dollar General across the street to purchase their toiletries and then get back into their car and notice there's a ticket standing on their window is the most fucking hilarious thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Because they are fucking befuddled why they have a ticket. Because they go up and they see it and it's sticking on their window, because Chicago cops are awesome about that. They'll put that right on your window to ruin your fucking getting back into the car. And the guy's like, I watched this guy today just pick it up and just look at it and go, and just like looking around like, what the fuck? I'm like, and there's like 19 million signs around there that say, loading zone, Buffalo Wings and Rings, do not park. And the fuckers just pull right in. They're not paying a meter, you know, and then they're like, what is this, free parking in downtown Chicago? No, come on, please get out of here. So it's just funny to watch people get pissed. So it has to be seated by the window so you can have some free entertainment.
My Sox summer, your ad read was so good and
good.
so on point, and your voice and everything. Yep. I wonder if our friend Matt Ramsey is going to shit on you because of how fucking good it was. It was perfect. Well, it was a perfect.
He will now because you reminded him to do that. He also is a stoner, you know, and well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true at all. If there's somebody should be the Sox nutritionist, it should be Matt Ramsey, because that motherfucker, although he hurt himself walking on a treadmill, he eats very well. He's a very good eater.
So it is time to do the last of our AL Central preview.
Yes.
Which is the Minnesota Twins.
Hate these Twins.
Yes, they do. And Beef, I'll let you take it over, but it's 89.5 wins at PointsBet is what I see.
That's correct. So the Minnesota Twins over underline, you're right, Treasy, is 89.5. Their AL Central odds as of today, I actually looked these up, even after the Eloy injury. They didn't pull them off the board. Their Central odds are plus 115. That's like 1.15 to 1 to win the AL Central. And then the World Series odds were plus 1,600. That's 16 to 1. So those are your odds on betting the Twins. Those odds were higher, actually, not too long ago, especially the division odds. I saw as high as like plus 165 earlier in the offseason. I saw plus 135 recently, and now it's kind of sliding back down closer to, it looks like it's a coin flip between the Sox and Twins. The Eloy injury could change this a little bit. So if you're a big Twins backer, hopefully no one on listening to this podcast actually is, now would be the time to smash the Twins. Now moving on to a player we have our eyes on. Treasy, I would love to hear who you are looking at on the Minnesota Twins in 2021.
So 1 second. I do want to make my prediction on the over under here.
Oh, go for it.
So I do want to say I think they're going to go over. So I think they'll get to 90 wins.
Wow.
But I don't think they win the division.
I like that. I like that thought.
You know why?
Why?
Fuck them Twins. All right.
I still remember when our guy NWI Steve made me feel comfortable saying fuck the Twins on a regular basis. He was out there doing it. I was thinking, oh man, if this guy's like fuck these guys, and I was thinking, I always felt this way. I've always felt fuck the Twins, but that's not naturally me to go out there and say that. I'm like, fuck it. Now I'm out there all the time. So I agree,
No.
Treasy. Fuck the Twins.
So in terms of players, like, so I like, you know, I think Beef, I think you're familiar with this guy. So Aaron Gleeman, he writes for The Athletic now. He did
He
Gleeman
does.
and the Geek for forever, and just
He was,
really,
he was kind of indie. He was kind of
Yeah.
doing something a little closer to this, much better, obviously.
and he would do like these
Shit.
these beer outings and stuff, and like
Yeah.
I've followed him for a long time, and so like I knew we were going to be doing the Twins soon, and I was kind of keeping an eye on a lot of the stuff he was writing at The Athletic. Because it's also our division rival. You want to keep an eye. And one guy that I was like, oh man, this Lewis Thorpe, this could be interesting because this could be a guy in their rotation. It seems like someone that they've, had a lot of faith in, and like he's out of options. It's going to be a thing.
Yep.
Well, so I had him written up, and then today they gave him a fucking fourth option, and the guy's in the minors now with Alex Kirilloff. And I'm just like, well, I can't do either one of those guys now. So
They basically said,
guess,
"Fuck you, Treasy."
I mean, well, actually, I'll take it. Send all your good players to the minors. Fuck them.
Goodbye.
So the guy I'm going to go with, just because I think this is interesting, is Taylor Rogers. So
Okay.
he's been a good closer for the Twins. He wasn't great last year. I think his ERA like bumped above 4 towards the end of the season, but he's, the year before I think he was like a 30 save guy. He's been good. Like he's been a solid closer for them.
Yep.
And they go out and get Colome, right? It's basically, like telling you like, hey, you've been doing a really good job here, and we're gonna demote you. So I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out. And like, because they're going to put him in, I'm going to guess, unless they're going to platoon the closer role, which is also weird. And then you got to see how Colome handles that. But if they try to move him into like a high leverage role, you got to wonder how that's going to work out. Is that going to be like, man, this guy's incredible at this, like an Andrew Miller? Or does it just throw off his shit and like he's just not good? And if he's just not good, I would love that. I would love
That's
that
a big
quite a
White
bit.
Sox game. Now, Treasy, I think the angle here is
The angle?
Rocco Baldelli is really good with managing the bullpen and also thinking outside the box and utilizing. Like he's one of the managers. There's a handful of managers that you could consider plus to the roster.
I do.
He'll figure out some stuff. And so I think what they just gave him is as many toys as possible. Yes, I agree with you. Taylor Rogers is good, but why not add Alex Colome, who no one can hit the cutter?
If I'm looking at this organizationally, I do the same thing, right? Like I go like
Let him figure it out.
I want the best guy available out there, and let's get him. And we put him into that position, and the manager can figure that out, and the manager can handle the personalities and everything. And while I think Baldelli's seemingly terrific at the tactical pieces,
yep,
there's going to need to be an additional kind of like people management piece to this that I'm interested to see how it plays out, because you are deballing Rogers, right? Like you're basically saying like, yeah, you did a good job, but we found a guy better than you, so not fuck off, but like you're going to do something different now. And
right.
You really got to have that. If you're Rogers, you have to be in the mindset of like whatever's best for the team, right? You have to really be that guy to do well in this situation. And I'm just like, I don't know how that's going to play out. So I'm not saying it's going to play out either way, but we're asking, what are you watching this year? I'm watching that. How does that play out?
That's a great call. And particularly with Colome. Colome was with the Rays, so he was used to kind of, they might do some shit, but Rogers is not. And so we'll see kind of how this all manages itself. Great call. My Sox Summer, Minnesota Twins. What player are you watching in 2021?
I think he's a 108 favorite, somebody that we all love, mostly because of just who he is. And a 6'4", 275-pound guy has got to stick together. I'm going with Miguel Sano. Is it Sano or Sano?
Sano, you got
Sano,
it.
yeah. And I mean, if I was from the Dominican and I was 16 years younger and I was athletic, that's exactly who I would fucking be. This man is a horse. He's huge. And he's just a big beefy dude. And like, I know who he is and I've seen him enough times, but every time I see him rounding a base or something, I'm always like, holy fuck, that guy's huge. Like, and he just gets so happy because I'm like, God, see, they can do it. They can do it. But the reason I want to watch it is because he has never fully reached his potential of what they thought he was going to be coming up into the majors. Thought he was going to be like a fucking, like he had 117 fucking homers in minor league ball, like over like 2 seasons or some shit. Like it was something ridiculous. And then he gets up to the majors and he just doesn't do it. And so I want to see as he ages, because he's getting older. I think, so 16 years younger, whatever that is, so like 27. As he gets older, is his eye better? And is he going to start like choosing his pitches, because he's got the Luis Robert in him. He chases after a lot of pitches. He goes deep. He has like last year, his chase rate went up from 27.5 to 31%. So I look at me throwing stats at you.
I know. I love it.
This is just like, look it. I can read up on a guy and make fucking things up too. So this is great. Like I'm doing good.
Right, nailing it right now. You are nailing it.
But yeah, no. So I don't think 2020 is a fair year to judge anybody because there's only 60 games. But still, and he's probably trying to hit more homers. So, but yeah, I just want to see this guy as he gets older, and how he progresses and potentially he could be a nice retread for us later when the Twins give up on him. We could sign him up on the south side. I would love him, but like our first base depth is so deep, but like he could be a DH potentially. But if he can't hit, I mean,
I must say that's one thing that I like about him, right? It's like, in a funny way, I like this about him is when they went out and got Josh Donaldson, people were like, well, Josh Donaldson's getting old and he's been injured, so you move Donaldson to first. Nope. Sano aged into first base at like 25.
Really quick.
Like
he's so big. It's like an Aaron Judge, like playing outfield. Like that's just stupid. Like it's like Greg Oden playing in the NBA. Just stupid.
No,
you guys are like real. I mean, you're big dudes.
Don't talk shit about LeBron's dad, all right?
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Greg Oden looked like he was 54 years old when he played for Ohio State. I mean, he just, and their bodies age just like that. And like an Aaron Judge, the same deal. Like I get it. Like you want to play, you want to be out there moving, but like, bro, you're big. Like you're way too big to be doing that shit. Like just go hit monster shots. Like Babe Ruth wasn't out there like, yo, watch me run as fast as I can. He's like, fuck that shit. You know what I'm gonna do? Like I'm gonna go have a couple drinks, then I'm gonna come hit the ball because that's what I'm good at. I'm not good at chasing down shit in the outfield. I'm good at hitting the ball out of the outfield, maybe on a bounce. So yeah. Miguel Sano, like that's somebody that I like. And if I hate the Twins, I don't like the Twins. I love Minneapolis. Minneapolis could not be a better town last summer, notwithstanding. But I cannot, I can't ever like support the Twins. Like, and it's just like something I just like, I don't like them. I don't like Twins fans. Like they bother me as much as Cubs fans.
I agree.
They're like, and the thing, like Cubs fans, up until 2016 were in the same boat. They just did not have that success, so they couldn't talk. But then post, World Series and winning 3 division titles in a row and then winning the World Series, like, okay, all right, I'll take it a little bit from you, but fuck you, Twins. Like, you haven't won a goddamn playoff series in like 100 some fucking games, man. Like, I'm not taking shit from you. You can make fun of the Sox, you can do whatever you want, but god damn it, you haven't won a goddamn playoff game. Like, fuck you. So that's all I have to say about that.
That's outstanding, actually. I fucking love my Sox numbers choice because Miguel Sano is a big X factor. If he maxes out the talent that he clearly has, that everyone's been saying he's had for a lot of years, if he puts up a year where it's like 44 home runs, 130 RBIs, he's not going to hit for high average because he's going to strike out a lot, but it's like slug 600 or something like that. the White Sox are in big fucking trouble. I mean, that's a guy to keep your eye on. That's a guy if like he turns it, and you're right, he's 27, so he's had some injury risk, and he's been good, but not as good as you think. It's one guy like we look at our upside on the South side. We think, okay, all these guys have upside.
I thought you meant our personal upside.
Well, no.
I'm running out of that.
I was gonna say I got personal downside mostly. No, not much.
You have no backside.
Our upside's 350 pounds. That's our upside.
But Sano, if Sano does it, I mean, like that lifts the Twins to another level. That's some shit you're not expecting. So I love that choice.
Beef, who's your choice, man?
My choice is a guy that they signed in free agency this year. And it was a guy that I wrote up a weird article for the Sox saying the White Sox should sign him and move Tim Anderson to an outfield position. And boy, would that look good right now. However, that didn't happen. But Andrelton Simmons, who for much of the last decade was the best defensive player in baseball, and also a guy who's a high contact rate guy and a guy who could provide you something on offense. He wasn't an Adam Everett type guy where it's just all defense, no offense. He could provide you some offense. He's coming off of like a subpar year in 2019. He had some injury. And then in 2020, he opted out at the end of the year. He admitted to some depression. He's having some issues and feels like he's kind of back in it right now. If the Twins signed even like 85% of prime Andrelton Simmons, it's kind of a big problem for the rest of the Central because we're kind of a real ground ball hitting group, and especially the White Sox. As good as the White Sox were on offense, they were in the top 5 in hitting ground balls, and they mostly have right-handed hitters, and those right-handed hitters will mostly hit ground balls into him and Josh Donaldson. That's kind of a problem. And so the Twins addressed a situation in which they were trotting Jorge Polanco out there, and he was not a shortstop. He shouldn't have been playing shortstop, and they somehow still won divisions with that happening, and they realized, okay, the White Sox are coming for us. We got to upgrade this spot. We got to make sure we get this lined up. If Andrelton Simmons is that guy from his prime, that's a problem. If he's the guy we've seen the last 2 years, I feel much better about the White Sox position.
Yeah, him being great at short with Colome on the mound in the 9th, that's not good for there's no comebacks, right? I mean, like we're gonna pound the ball into the ground and he's gonna scoop it up and throw guys out.
Right.
Like, but if he sucks, that'd be great. I like that we're just like I hope all these guys that have talent and have been good, I hope they suck this year. That's really. And on the other teams, we're like, oh man, this is a hot prospect and he might really turn into something. and this team, it's like, I hope this guy fucking sucks.
Exactly. And we're back there like, come on, Anna Meaton. You got a couple, you got to stay healthy, brother. Just stay healthy. Like that's how we're looking. And then Blake Rutherford too. We're like, come on, you can do it. We know you can make you break camp with that team, please.
We're not saying that. We're not saying that. Well, fellas, that's about it for tonight. We got some more 108 tourney coming up. Yep. I hear a rumor that we're doing a live show next Thursday with our friends over at Sox Machine.
That's correct.
Before the start of the opening day game, which is at like 9 p.m.
Yeah, it's a pregame show. Yes,
it is pregame. Yeah.
I took the next day off because I know that I'm going to stay up until midnight having some beers and watching that game, and then probably having some more beers, and then not waking up on time for work. So I just took it off in advance, but I can't wait for that. I mean, I am psyched for, despite the injuries. Well, Adam Engel might be okay because he heals fast. But despite the injuries, I'm psyched for opening day, and I can't wait to do that with you guys. But in the meantime, 108 tourney will be running all the way up until that day. So people enjoy it, have fun, and we will see you very soon.
Peace.